is the whereabouts of the school's matron during the event. Meanwhile, the eagerly awaited autopsies of the victims have been postponed to allow parents to view their children's bodies for closure purposes. Mariam Mjaid tells us more.
Questions have arisen about the whereabouts of the staff responsible for security on Thursday night when the fire consumed the dormitory at Hillside Endorasha School, killing 21 students. The Intelligence Department, which has been stationed for the 6th day in the school, has begun investigating claims that the dorm matron was not present that night. As final preparations were underway at the Naramoru Level 4 Hospital mortuary, parents who had lost their children gathered, waiting to view their children's body for emotional closure. Teams from various organizations such as Cambry, the Red Cross, Nyeri County Government, the Homicide Unit, and the Chief Government Pathologist were briefed about the process before it officially began. However, the examination was postponed after parents requested to see their children's bodies.
We have a big team of doctors, investigators, and analysts from Cambry and from government chemists. And it's a hope that with that team we'll be able to finish the autopsy tomorrow.
Odwor explained that the examination will start tomorrow with a large team of doctors and experts from Cambry and the chief government pathologist to expedite the process.
We have many relatives who are coming in and they want to view the body, so we decided that to give them closure so that now we can start the process. Autopsy is a process which involves families also. So to give them that closure and have us walk the journey with them, we give them the day-to-day just to view, to have closure, so that now tomorrow morning we start the process afresh.
The families of the victims were also provided with psychological support after viewing their loved ones' bodies to help them cope with the profound emotional shock caused by the disaster. The autopsy is expected to determine the cause and manner of the victims' deaths and to link the evidence collected at the closed Hillside Endorasha School. Meanwhile, the Endorasha community has announced protests to be held tomorrow, claiming that the government's report on the number of the students who lost their lives in the dormitory fire is confusing. On the government's part, the Ministry of Education has warned schools that do not adhere to safety policies and announced the commencement of a crackdown on primary and junior secondary schools starting this week to ensure their buildings meet the required safety standards. Madam Jahid, K24, Nyeri.
Now, President William Ruto says he will not sign any bill that will water down standards of integrity and accountability in the fight against corruption, referring to the Conflict of Interest Bill. This is after the ESCC recovered public assets amounting to 28 billion shillings for the past 5 years. Ventura Komboka reports.
The government is set to propose amendments to Parliament that are set to address and seal loopholes in the fight against corruption and promote accountability in government.
The money was recovered from.
Among the proposed amendments that includes the Public Finance Management, Public Procurement Act, the Evidence Act and the Criminal Procedure Code seeks to expedite corruption cases and overhaul the public procurement sector.
Particular story. Now, moving forward is that ODM's Central Governing Committee has delegated Kisumu Governor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o to chair the party's Central Committee as Raila Odinga intensifies his campaign for the AUC chairmanship. The decision comes amid power struggles within the party, with several leaders eyeing the party leader position.
With several leaders within the Orange Party salivating for the party leader position, following Odinga's declaration to vie for the AUC chairmanship, leaders eyeing the top seat including Edwin Sifuna, Gladys Wanga, James Sorengo, Babu Owino and Simba Arati, the party's Central Committee in a meeting chaired by Raila Odinga today has designated Kisumu Governor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o to take over Odinga's role.
In light of the grueling campaign by our party leader and the need for him
to focus on this for the AU chairmanship, he has designated His Excellency Honorable Peter Anyang' Nyong'o, the Governor of Kisumu, to chair any and such meetings of this committee, the Central Committee, that may become necessary during periods.
The government is set to propose amendments to Parliament that are set to address undersea loopholes in the fight against corruption and promote accountability.
With several leaders within the Orange Party salivating for the party leader position following Odinga's declaration to vie for the AUC chairmanship, leaders eyeing the top seat including Edwin Sifuna, Gladys Wanga, James Orengo, Babu Owino and Simba Arati, the party's central committee in a meeting chaired by Raila Odinga today has designated Kisumu Governor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o to take over Odinga's role.
In light of the grueling campaign by our party leader and the need for him to focus on this for the AU chairmanship, he has designated His Excellency Honorable Peter Anyang' Nyong'o, the Governor of Kisumu, to chair any and such meetings of this committee, the Central Committee, that may become necessary during periods of his absence.
The appointment of Nyong'o came as a surprise to many, with the decision seemingly placing the county chief in an interim role, despite not declaring interest of being fronted to take over as Odinga's successor, if indeed he secures the AUC position. Despite Nyong'o being appointed to play Odinga's role within the committee, Sifuna maintains that Odinga is still the party leader, only that he needed more time to concentrate on his campaigns.
The Constitution does not allow any other person other than a person designated by the party leader to chair the Central Committee meetings. That is why he has designated the Honorable Peter Anyang' Nyong'o to do that job if a meeting is necessary when he's not there. But when he's around, he will continue to chair those meetings.
The meeting that was held today aimed at reaching a consensus regarding the party leadership if Odinga secures the coveted AUC post. Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino, through his social media platform, also declared his interest in the party leadership, claiming that he's the only one who can take President William Ruto in 2027 as the party's flag bearer. The appointment of Nyong'o throws a spanner into the works, and if at all Odinga eventually clinches the AUC seat, Nyong'o will now be the front runner, having already donned Odinga's shoes by running party affairs on his behalf. Amid leadership wrangles across various counties, the Central Committee has summoned Kakamega Governor Fernandes Barasa, citing frustrating the party's changes in leadership at the County Assembly.
That the state of affairs in Kakamega County Assembly has now become unacceptable. The party has, via official communication, designated Honorable Geoffrey Ondiro as the majority leader. This directive has, however, been repeatedly frustrated by individuals led by the county governor, the speaker, and the former leader of majority, Honorable Maina. The committee has therefore resolved to summon the three to appear before it at a date to be communicated.
Ian Keitani, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Now let's take the ESCC story yet again, and President William Ruto now says he will not sign any bill that will water down standards of integrity and accountability in the fight against corruption, referring to the Conflict of Interest Bill. This is after the ESCC recovered public assets amounting to 28 billion Kenya shillings for the past 5 years. Ventura Komboka tells us more.
The government is set to propose amendments to Parliament that are set to address undersea loopholes in the fight against corruption and promote accountability in government.
The money was recovered from...
Among the proposed amendments, that includes the Public Finance Management, Public Procurement Act, the Evidence Act and the Criminal Procedure Code, seeks to expedite corruption cases and overhaul the public procurement sector.
I am told there is a mediation process that is going on in Parliament. But I have told them with clarity that I will veto any bill that does not establish a high standard of accountability, integrity, and anti-corruption measures, and I will fully exercise my powers under Article 115 of the Constitution to ensure that the bill meets the rigorous standards set out in the original draft bill.
Speaking during the handover of the recovered assets from ESCC at State House, Nairobi, President William Ruto lauded the anti-corruption body for the recovery of 28 billion shillings public assets.
The ESCC has also effectively intervened to prevent the loss of public funds amounting to an estimated 41 billion by deploying various strategies to disrupt corrupt networks. Additionally, I am encouraged that the EACC is pursuing the forfeiture of unexplained wealth valued at Kenya shillings 59 billion through ongoing court proceedings against individuals whose assets and interests significantly exceed their non-legitimate sources of income.
And further to encourage the fight against corruption, Ruto has intimated on proposing amendments to the Witness Protection Act, vowing not to assent to any bill watering down standards of accountability and integrity.
We will propose amendments to the Witness Protection Act to revamp the statutory and institutional framework for protecting and incentivizing whistleblowers. We will also be proposing amendments to the Public Finance Management Act and the Public Procurement and Disposal Act, which has been identified as a key area of corruption, conflict of interest, and abuse of office in the public sector.
The EACC has thus far recovered 18.71 acres of land valued at 5 billion shillings spread across different counties in the country, including 2 acres of judicial land housing the Kisumu Law Courts valued at 1.4 billion shillings, 3 parcels of lands belonging to the National Police Service in Eldoret, measuring 3.25 acres valued at 1.2 billion shillings, half an acre piece of land, part of the Kenya School of Law in Kilimani, valued at 700 million shillings, 1 acre belonging to the Uasin Gishu Referral Hospital in Eldoret, valued at 700 million shillings, 13 plots in Kisii measuring 8.06 acre property, valued at 300 million shillings, 3.4 acres of land belonging to Kisii County Government, valued at 135 million shillings, and 12 parcels of land spread in counties of Bungoma, Kakamega, Kisii, Kabarnet, Nakuru and Kitale. Cash assets recovered by the EACC also includes 511 million shillings belonging to various organizations. 361 million shillings has been handed to the National Treasury Consolidated Fund, 79 million shillings belonging to the Kenya Ports Authority Retirement Benefit Scheme that was recovered from a law firm, and 70 million shillings belonging to Camry Retirement Scheme that was recovered from an individual. Bentura Komboka, K24, Nairobi.
Back to the future. The future is simulate. Bet smarter. Win faster now. Be a winner. More